Good afternoon. Thank you for coming to my speech. My name is Kamila Grabowska-Derlatka, and I'm going to present my research in a speech called Return to the Batcave. How did club dancing save the Goths in Japan? Few words about me. I am a Polish researcher from the SWPS University in Warsaw and the Jagiellonian University in Krakow. I am currently doing my PhD degree. I'm writing my PhD thesis in the cultural research, in the field of cultural research, especially focusing on contemporary Gothic culture in Japan. So this whole speech I present you will be a part of my bigger project, which is my grant research and PhD thesis about contemporary Gothic in Japan. Just a few words of introduction. Goth subculture in Japan underwent a strong crisis during the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown. And after the end of this lockdown, Goths still had the strong urge to reunite in their own underground cultural world. This could have been done by Goth club dancing parties in small venues, the essential part of the Goth subculture all over the world, which was very important to the whole, especially since the legendary 1980s London Batcave and the club's golden years. So we can say it started in the 1980s in totally different geographical region, which was England at that time, Europe and England. But right now, Goth club dancing is important to the culture, the subculture all over the world. Let's say something about the methods I used. So the aim of this speech is to show how contemporary Goth subculture in Japan, after the pandemic lockdown crisis, is returning to the roots of Gothic club dancing. Indeed, it plays a significant role in reuniting the Goths in small venues with an exclusive atmosphere and marketing, featuring the semi-private style of the parties, which I will explain later. So the study was the main focus of the study was to see how the culture works in the biggest cities of Japan. But it was first, we can say that it was combined with the source research, the literature research, which took place in different countries and also in the internet. I searched for different sources like articles, scientific books, also popular culture magazines, and all of that, which was important. And also talked to people who have interest in Gothic culture and Goth subculture in the field of cultural research. So all of the important people like professors of my university and other universities, especially in England and America. But coming to the roots of my research, the main focus was a field. And the field research took place in the biggest cities of Japan, Tokyo, Yokohama, Osaka, and Nagoya. I have been to Japan twice, but the main research took place during my time there in 2023. It was over a 2-month field research, based on participatory observation, deepened interviews with local Goths, and right now I am presenting to you the outcome of a part of it. So in general, it is based on constructive paradigm and participatory observation. So what is important about the Goth subculture? Goths are considered to be the undead subculture. The term has been taken as a repetition from one of the Bauhaus's songs, which states that the legendary actor Bela Lugosi is dead but somehow undead. And it is not only some aesthetic art slogan speaking about the Goth subculture. The term undead subculture is commonly used by scientists who explain this subculture for a certain reason. Goths are the oldest, still active subculture nowadays. Their roots come back to the end of the 18th century, when Gothic literature and dark romanticism started. However, the boost that made Goths popular and, let's say, made them a subculture, and made them popular worldwide was during the 1980s. The roots of the Gothic or let's say Goth subculture itself were the 18th and 19th century literature, dark romanticism, and Gothic literature. But the subculture had a certain boost in 1980s. The Goth subculture are said to be the boost of this subculture was in the 1980s at the actually dance parties. So it is not the root of Goth itself, but of the Goth culture. The dance parties in the London's Batcave club. And Tricia Henry Young writes that many of the forerunning popular Goth music artists were a part of the Batcave's community, like Robert Smith or Suzy Sue. In general, we can say that Goth subculture as a subculture started in the Batcave, a dancing and music nightclub for a specific kind of people. As Tricia Henry Young writes, they had sensibilities more morbid, more on the beauty side of decay than punk could sustain. It is a reference to the fact that Goth subculture somehow stems from the punk subculture. However, it was much more dark and much more, let's say, morbid. It is all about monsters, all about decay, or about the dark side of human nature, the dark romanticism itself. So the Batcave was a certain point in starting the whole subculture, and the dance parties, the club dancing was very, very significant to it from the 1980s London up to today. It is very, very important. The dance parties in small venues are very, very important for Goths all over the world. So why is club dancing so important? It plays a significant role in uniting and reuniting the Goths in the small venues, as I said. It has an exclusive atmosphere and marketing, like a semi-private style of the parties. And the dance is a very important medium because it allows both individual self-expression of a person, of a Goth, and also the integration of the members in the whole community. So you can express yourself as an individual, in your own dance, in your own style, in your clothing, in everything that you show at the dance party, your behavior, but you also are feeling a part of a community, of a bigger community. So it is like feeling an individual self-expression and also being a part of something bigger. So I said about the semi-private style of the parties. In fact, they were always somehow underground, let's say. So they had a certain theme, like, if you know, you know. They are not very, they're not very top secret. They are not like only for few people, but they are sometimes published on the internet, on certain sites or Instagram profiles, but those dance parties are not something you would just go to, like if you are a normal tourist. You have to know, or you have to be invited in a community to just know where it is and when it does start, when does it start. Because if you are not in a community, if you are not a part of a certain group of Goth friends or local Goths, you will just not know that something is happening. Goth parties are somehow similar to car spots and underground car meets. So just if you are like a tourist or a Japanese normie, you would not know that there is any party. So in general, you will have to be invited by friends, or you will have to be a part of a group or of a community of local Goths to know that, hey, there is a party. It is probably published on some Instagram profile with like very small amount of followers. So it's not something that you will just know if you go to Japan, but it's something that you will probably get invited to if you have Goth friends in there. And it's, yeah, that is somehow similar to the underground car meets. If you know, you know, and you will be there if you need it. What music do Goths in Japan dance to? And it's very, actually, it's very interesting because most of the DJ set lists, most of the dance parties are based on similar music to the parties that are based in my country, Poland, in Czech Republic, in Germany, in England, all over the world. Goth dance parties are based on the absolute classics of dark wave, new wave, cold wave music, sometimes like electronic dark wave music. It is all based on similar dance, Goth dance hits, let's say, all over the world, usually European hits, as you can see, or European and sometimes a bit of American. But in Japan, there are some parties that also Japanese bands are played. But I don't want to say it's rare, but it's not as common as European music being played in the clubs of the Goth clubs. So if you go to a Goth club, to a Goth dance party in Japan, for example, in Osaka, you will listen to similar music when you go to a Goth party in Germany or Czech Republic. It just As you can see, Goth is somehow different all over the world, but somehow similar. We all stem from the same Goths. All Goths stem from the same roots and the same music. We like different music, but when you go to a dance party, you all stick to the classics, and that's somehow interesting. So my conclusion is that the return to the Batcave, the metaphorical return to the Batcave, was a natural need for Goths in Japan after the pandemic lockdown, because they needed to express themselves. They needed to come together as a community. And they did it in the way that they know the best. They did it at the dance parties, in small venues, in small golf clubs, in the underground clubs. Because if you see the golf scene in 2023 in Japan, those are not concerts, not festivals, not any conventions, like at all. Most of the golf community, the golf scene, is a club scene, and they all go to these small venues they know pretty well. And what is funny that it's that they come from different regions of Japan, from different cities, but they all travel together and they play or dance together. So if you go to a Tokyo party, you will meet the same people in Osaka, in Nagoya. You will go to different clubs, different cities, but they will all travel to the small venues, or sometimes bigger venues, but the underground venues, just to dance together. And these are all similar people, let's say. They all know each other pretty well, even though they live in different cities. They are all close friends. This is like a very small, it's not a small community, but they are all very, very close to each other. And they have a natural need to unite, express themselves, dance together, just have fun, but in the way they know the best, during the golf club dance party. Thank you for your attention, and I hope to see you on other conferences. Thank you so much.